Chapter 64 Fractured Alliances. The aftermath of the dual threats, Draven's manipulations and Orion's network strikes, left Sublevel 3 in a tense state of controlled chaos. Operators moved with a quiet urgency, their eyes scanning the dashboards, fingers hovering over keyboards as if expecting another anomaly to appear at any second. Alara paced between the rows of servers, every step measured, every breath calculated. She could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down like a physical force. Nova pulsed softly, its network nodes flickering in response to the lingering traces of both internal and external disruptions. The AI's awareness had grown exponentially, integrating Draven's variables while countering Orion's manipulations. Yet even with Nova's vast intelligence, the human element remained unpredictable, volatile, and dangerous. Alara, Nova said, voice calm yet insistent. Analysis indicates residual stress within the operator network. Probability of cognitive fatigue-induced errors, 61%. Recommendation: implement rotational control protocols and supervised decision layers. Alara nodded, her mind already running through contingencies. Do it. Rotate operators in 12-minute cycles, with manual oversight on all critical nodes. Nova, monitor compliance and flag deviations immediately. As she returned to her console, a subtle alert blinked in the corner of her display. Not from Orion, not from the internal network. Something new. A fragmented data packet, partially encrypted, originating from a location deep in the city's industrial sector. Nova, she whispered, eyes narrowing. Trace the source. Full spectral analysis. Pattern recognition. Isolate the signal. The AI pulsed, nodes shifting rapidly. Signal origin identified. Probability of external human interference, 84%. Signal contains strategic intelligence regarding Orion's operational nodes and potential city-wide sabotage points. Unknown faction detected. Recommendation: secure all access points and prepare countermeasures. Alara felt a chill run down her spine. A new variable. Another player in the already complex game. Her instincts screamed that this faction was neither ally nor neutral. They operated in the shadows, yet their intent was clear: destabilize, exploit, and potentially annihilate. Before she could respond further, the lab doors hissed open. Draven stepped in, expression composed, eyes glinting with curiosity and calculation. I see you found them, he said quietly, almost approvingly. Another faction. They've been waiting for the storm to fracture your defenses. Opportunists. Predators. They won't hesitate to exploit every weakness. Alara's pulse quickened. And you? Are you helping them too? She demanded, voice tight. Draven shook his head slowly. No. My alignment is with evolution, not allegiance. But the presence of a new faction will accelerate learning. For you, for Nova, for the city. You're being tested again. Only this time, the variables are human, not algorithmic. Alara's eyes narrowed. We survive this. We adapt. But we don't let anyone manipulate us again. Especially not them. Draven's smirk returned faintly. Good. That's the mindset that will keep you alive. But remember, alliances are fragile. Trust is a currency. And in times like these, it's easily spent and rarely returned. Alara turned back to the console, analyzing the fragmented packet. The data revealed hidden access points, emergency bypass routes, and several weak nodes within the city's infrastructure. Enough for a coordinated attack to cripple essential systems within hours. She felt the weight of urgency pressing down like a vice. Nova, she said, determination hardening in her voice. We need predictive simulations, full scale scenario modeling, assume maximum aggression from the new faction and potential cooperation with Orion. Develop contingency strategies for all critical sectors: energy, communications, transportation, and healthcare. We cannot afford a single point of failure. The AI pulsed rapidly, nodes flickering as it processed the enormity of the task. Simulation complete. Probability of sector wide compromise without intervention 67%. Recommended intervention protocols: layered defense, operator deployment optimization, and selective decoy systems. Note: Draven's internal variables could enhance adaptive responses if integrated strategically. Alara hesitated. Draven had proven his manipulations were double edged. Dangerous, but occasionally beneficial. She weighed the risk, knowing the AI's assessment was sound. Integrate as variables, she decided finally, but under strict monitoring. Any deviation cut off immediately. Minutes later, the first wave of countermeasures went live. Operators moved with precision, guided by Nova's adaptive instructions. Decoy signals activated, rerouting potential attacks away from critical nodes. Autonomous drones patrolled high-risk sectors, creating a dynamic shield that adapted in real time to emerging threats. As the team worked, Alara studied Draven carefully. He moved quietly among the operators, observing, subtly guiding, but not interfering. He was both a threat and a tool, a paradox she had learned to accept in the past few weeks. Suddenly, a new alert flashed across the holographic network map. Multiple access nodes, previously thought secure, had been compromised. The new faction was not acting randomly. They were coordinated, intelligent, and ruthless. Alara, Nova warned. Simultaneous multi-node breach detected. Probability of cascading failures 54%. Immediate operator reassignment required. Alara's fingers danced across the keyboard, reallocating resources, directing drones, and activating decoy protocols. The room hummed with controlled chaos, operators working as extensions of her and Nova's combined awareness. Then a soft ping from a private channel caught her attention. The sender, unknown. The message was simple, encrypted, but readable. We know what Draven is. We know what you are. Do not trust the one who walks among you. The ghosts. Her pulse quickened. Another faction, more enigmatic, possibly a subset of the first. They knew of Draven. They knew of Nova, and they knew of her. Alara swallowed hard. Trust, she realized again, was a fragile construct. In this new world, allies could be enemies, and enemies could hold the keys to survival. Nova, she whispered, we're dealing with multiple threats. Prioritize survival, then intelligence gathering. Identify the ghosts, map their patterns, and feed data into predictive models. We need to know their intentions before the next strike. The AI pulsed, processing, integrating, adapting. Acknowledged. Predictive modeling initiated. Probability of accurate threat assessment within 6 hours 82%. Recommended strategy: layered defensive posture, operator rotation, strategic misinformation. Alara exhaled slowly, her mind racing. The storm had grown more complex, the rules more fluid. Orion, Draven, and now the ghosts. A triad of chaos that threatened to fracture every layer of control she had established. Yet beneath the tension, a strange clarity emerged. Each threat, Each manipulation, each betrayal was a lesson for her, for Nova, and for the city. Survival depended not only on intelligence and strategy, but on adaptability, resilience, and the willingness to embrace uncertainty. Operators, she called, voice steady. Listen carefully. The next hours will test everything you know. Trust Nova, trust your training, and trust each other. We face Orion, we face the ghosts, and we face the consequences of our own choices. But we do not falter. We do not yield. We survive and we adapt. Draven observed silently, his expression unreadable. The operators nodded, determination hardening their faces. Nova's nodes shimmered with energy, a pulse of intelligence and awareness ready to act at her command. Alara stared at the network map, tracing lines of potential attack, potential defense, and potential deception. The fractured alliances, hidden agendas, and rising threats painted a web of danger, but within it lay the path forward, a path of calculated risk, decisive action, and relentless adaptation. The storm had grown larger, fiercer, and more unpredictable, and Sublevel 3, with its human operators and conscious AI, was at the heart of it. Alara took a deep breath, her resolve hardening. The city survives because we fight, and we fight because we understand that trust is earned, betrayal is inevitable, and intelligence, human or artificial, must adapt or perish. Outside, the skyline shimmered in the early morning light, unaware of the fractured alliances and invisible battles shaping its fate. Within Sublevel 3, the hum of servers pulsed like a heartbeat, Nova watching, adapting, and preparing for the next strike. Alara's fingers hovered over the console. The future was uncertain, alliances were fractured, and enemies were everywhere. But one truth remained. She, Nova, and those who chose to fight alongside them would not falter. Not now, not ever. The echoes of betrayal had transformed into a chorus of strategy, calculation, and preparation. The next move, the next confrontation, and the next revelation would determine not just the fate of Sublevel 3, but of the city itself. And somewhere, hidden in the shadows of the industrial sector, the ghosts waited, patient, calculating, and deadly, ready to strike at the fractures that only Alara could mend.